Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we're continuing our series on the brand new Player's Handbook, diving into some of the changes that have been made to our favorite role-playing game, D&D 5e. And today we're talking about the species in the book. As fantasy races have lived throughout all of D&D, they've come with many assorted powers and weaknesses, and the brand new Player's Handbook is no different. Today we're talking about the dwarves, such a classic species in the fantasy worlds. They've been around for so long, and we love them. They were great in the 2014 Player's Handbook, and they've continued to be so as they have evolved over the many years of the game. And here we see a somewhat stripped down version. Gone are the ability score improvements. In the old Player's Handbook, Mountain Dwarves were the only race to have a +2 to 2 ability scores. And with Atasha's rules, you could apply that to anything. Not to mention armor proficiencies, they were one of the most powerful races out there. So the dwarves in this book have big shoes to fill. How can they possibly stand up when they've had their ability scores stripped away and given to the backgrounds? No more +2/+2. Does the dwarf still hold up? We'll get to the details in just a moment, but before we do, I'd like to let you know, Relaxed Fantasy Review has memberships. For just $1 a month, you can support me here on YouTube and get a couple benefits. First, you get a little badge next to your name in the comments, letting folks know that you're a supporter, but also you get early access to my videos. I upload videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I upload them a day early for members only. If that interests you, you can click the join button. It's just down there next to the subscribe button. I'd love to see you in the comments with your member badge. And if it doesn't interest you, that's totally fine too. Just watching the video at all, liking, subscribing, all that stuff that costs nothing. I think that is one of the best ways to support me. I really appreciate you being here, so thank you for watching my content. Dwarves in D&D. Let's start with the basics. Even though they are a slightly shorter race, they still are considered medium size. And because, for me, medium size is the one that has the better set of qualities, small races, nothing wrong with them, they just have a slight nerf in some of their abilities, and I think that being medium size edges them out, so I give it 10 out of 10. And then, unlike their 2014 predecessors, they are not slowed. They don't have a 25-foot speed. It's just your standard 30-foot speed like everybody else. So we're going to give that 9 out of 10. Then they have dark vision, and not just dark vision, but extended dark vision. 120 feet of it. I think the dwarves should have had this all along, to be honest, but now they've got it. And no, I don't award extra points, because dark vision's good no matter who has it, and I think that, yeah, I'm still going to give it 10 out of 10. I would give it 11 out of 10 if that was a thing I did. But it does come with tactical advantages even over the standard dark vision. You know, being able to see creatures from further than they can see you. So yeah, real solid. Then they come with their classic dwarven resilience. Resistance to poison damage and advantage on saving throws to avoid or end the poisoned condition. The poisoned condition is a real debilitating condition, really taking you down a notch, and poison damage is one of the most common damage types in all of D&D. Having resistance and advantage and all of that against poison is just superbly powerful, and I think that it can easily be underestimated how impactful this is from the beginning of the game all the way through. So I give that 10 out of 10 as well. And then all dwarves now get the Dwarven Toughness feature. This was originally given to the Hill Dwarf as a sub-race feature, but now all dwarves have it. And it simply says that your hit point maximum increases by 1 and continues to do so every level as you go on. This, you know, from a mechanics perspective, is the equivalent, hit point wise, of having a +2 to your constitution. And one of the origin feats, Tough, you know, this is basically half of that, giving you, this is a half feat, or half of a feat, built into your species. That's amazing. And you can also stack this with the Tough feat, making you one of the tankiest characters in all of Dungeons & Dragons. If you are a dwarf barbarian with a 16 constitution and the Tough origin feat, You've got a d12 hit die, that's 12 hit points, plus 3 from Constitution, plus 2 from Tough, and then plus 1 from being a dwarf. That is 18 hit points that you are starting from level 1. And then every time you level up, you're getting yourself another 13 on average. Wow. The Dwarven toughness is a fantastic feature, and it goes with anything. Like, you don't have to be a barbarian. A wizard will appreciate this. A rogue will appreciate this. Even squishy characters like having more hit points. So I'm going to say another 10 out of 10 for this. Finally, you get the Stone Cunning feature. Originally, Stone Cunning in the old player's handbook was a bit of a downer feature, in the sense that it just gave you expertise on knowledge checks to do with stone structures and stone cut shapes and stuff. It was very niche and basically never came up. Now it is completely different. Now, as a bonus action, you can touch stone. We're talking about a stone surface or a stone structure. So we're talking, the stone in the ground if you're walking in a cave or on some kind of stone surface, or if you're in a castle or a structure made of stone or rock, you can touch it and gain tremor sense. Tremor sense is something that's usually for burrowing creatures. Creatures like the purple worm, they're able to see around them while they're underground, sensing movement of other creatures, effectively meaning that no one can sneak up on you. What's cool about this is it has a range of 60 feet and lasts for 10 minutes. You can use this bonus action a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and with it lasting 10 minutes, that means that in any situation where you might need tremor sense, you're going to have it. Now, obviously, if you're out in the middle of fields where there's nothing but soil and trees and stuff like that, or if you're in wooden structures, that's a little bit trickier, but most cities have like stone floors or stone streets. And a lot of Dungeons and Dragons happens in caves or mountains, which is full of stones. Yeah, in swamps and forests and oceans, you're not going to have a whole lot. I mean, unless there's a stone ship that someone has out there, you're not going to get much out of this there. But the simple fact that Tremor Sense is a bonus action away, and for my money, Tremor Sense is almost as good as Blind Sight. You can sense any creature that's touching the stone. A creature would have to be flying and hovering for it to be invisible to you, and you can still see. Like, you still have extended dark vision. So unless you are surrounded by magical darkness, Tremor Sense is, going to be handy in most situations, and creatures just can't hide from you. I think that this is such a unique power that I'm actually going to give it 10 out of 10. I know it's not always going to come up, and a lot of folks are saying that Tremor Sense, because it has to be touching stone, isn't going to be that big of a deal, but I think you're going to be touching stone more often than not in D&D. Like, that feels too common to be discounted. And Tremor Sense is so powerful. It's it gets around darkness, it gets around obscurement. You can see around corners with Tremor Sense. And I think that it is just really, really good. So I'm going to give it 10 out of 10. If you think that it's worth a little less than that, I could certainly see the argument, but I think that it's supremely strong. And yeah, we have a bunch of 10 out of 10 features here. The Dwarf just doesn't fail to impress me. You're not going to be getting the crazy ability score buffs. You're not going to be getting armor proficiencies. But what is here is powerful. Tankiness, damage resistance, extended dark vision, Tremor Sense on demand. Nothing is bad here. Everything is amazing. And I think dwarves are 10 out of 10. I think that they are strong now, and I think that they are a worthy successor to their predecessors in 2014. I think that playing a dwarf is one of the strongest races in the brand new player's handbook, and it is fantastic for so many builds and so many characters. I don't think you can go wrong here. I think that the dwarf is 10 out of 10, and I'm going to stand by that. One of my favorites in this new book. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below. Have a look for the join button down there, and keep your eyes peeled for more species reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.